Hello, welcome to my Kansas garden. I was going to show you what has been growing in May. Please excuse my crazy sounding voice. I have a cold or allergies or something, I'm not sure. But let's get right into it. I thought I would start from this side today because that's the way the sun is shining. My shadow is behind me instead of all over our video. We'll start on this side of the garden. This is my son's bed. Our cosmos are getting big. The beets are getting big. Well, that one. Those ones over there are still kind of small. His radishes are not doing well, but we planted corn, and we're trying a method recommended by Gary Pilarczyk from the Rusted Garden. He said to try 4 inches apart, and it helps them to pollinate better when you're not growing in a large field. So we're trying it out, and I'll admit they look pretty close together, but we'll see how it goes because last year we had a lot of trouble with pollination. Here's some carrots that are growing in between. I think that might be a pepper. This right here I believe is mustard greens. Got some lettuce that I'm probably going to pick soon, and then some flowers. I'm not sure what these are. It'll be a surprise when they come up. Our next bed is another one of my son's beds. He loves flowers. So all of this right here are different types of flowers. This is a sunflower. I believe these are more flowers in here. You can see over there are a bunch of carrots just scattered around. Those tall ones are garlic. It's a row of lettuce, and if you can believe it, this is only half of what used to be here. I did a video previously about how I pulled every other lettuce head, and it's just been growing like crazy. I should probably pull these as well though, because I'm afraid they're gonna bolt soon. There's a big old scallion that is flowering, and thyme, and there's some little tomato plants in here. You can see them. There's some growing out of the brick, and there's some over there as well. I don't know if you can see them, and then right here, these stalks, really big stalks, are scallions. Oh, I'm still zoomed out here, or zoomed in. And scallions, if you didn't know, make these beautiful heads of flowers, and they attract pollinators really well. And they just smell like onions. I love it personally. And then our third bed are onions. This is only onions and some weeds in there. But over here next to the fence, I do have some other plants. Over there, there's some marigolds and some tomatoes, but they're still pretty small. And can't see them very well because of the shadow from the sun. Here is our soaker hose bed. A lot going on in here. We got carrots, lots of beets that are just doing beautifully. The beets in this bed are very happy. And you can see basil is coming up all over the place. More carrots over there. We got yellow beets in here. They're not growing as well as the purple beets, but they're still growing. I pulled out most of the radishes except for these ones that are making flowers. Aren't those? Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I love the radish flowers. And they attract early pollinators, so win-win. And in here, this is one of those peppers that I transplanted. not very many of those peppers survived, actually. They were just too small to combat pests and stuff like that. But there's just a lot of random stuff growing in here. It's the same on the other side. It's a mirror. I made kind of a mirror image, so I'm not gonna go into the other side, but I will show you, excuse me, this bed, my kid's pool. I love this bed. It's probably my favorite. Let me get over here so you can see better, but I planted this in the fall. Definitely going to do a fall garden this year because it makes for a beautiful spring garden. You can see how lush and beautiful this whole area is. We have a bolting, oh, you can't see it very well because of the shadows, but this is parsley. You can see its little bush down there, and then it's creating, let me see if I can show you the flowers. They're not out yet. They're gonna be like white. Is it even zooming in? I can't see. I don't think it is. Beep. There you go, kind of. But those are all on top. And then I don't even know what these are. If you know what these are, feel free to let me know in the comment section because I don't know. That's what their leaves look like. See those? So I don't know what this is, but it's welcome to be growing in my garden. We've got red lettuce back there, and this big one with all these stalks, that is arugula that is flowering. Look at that big one right there. Woohoo! That is a lettuce. It is not making flowers yet, but it's working on it. It's very tall. That's the tallest plant I have right now in my garden. We have more bolting lettuce. Here's a big bush of lettuce that's not bolting yet. I don't know what this plant is, but I like the leaves. I'm waiting for the flowers to appear. Some bolting red lettuce, some bolting green lettuce, a bunch of them. And then of course we have more arugula, more lettuce in here. Oh, did I show you? Right here, we have a ton of oregano. Lots and lots of oregano. And I'm curious to see if it will also produce flowers. You can see these are working on some flowers. There's some chives down there, more bolting lettuce. I'm just really excited for all the flowers that are coming out of this bed. Look at, oh, look at all that. My gasp sounds like I'm dying. Look at all those flowers, you guys. This is my first experience with bolting arugula. I did not know that it got so big and produced so many flowers, so I am pleasantly surprised. I absolutely love it. Let's go over to this bed since we're already here, but you already know, if you've been watching my videos, there's nothing going on in here except for those scallions. But this is mostly mulch. But I do have, if I can find them, here's one. You can see the zoom on this is not working today. You can see this volunteer basil that's coming up. But there's some more. There's one, there's another. But that's really all that's in here aside from the scallions. And they also have their flowers. Let me get around and see if I can get a better picture for you. There you go. This one's fallen over. Probably gonna take these inside and chop them up and put them in a salad or something. But that's this bed. Here is another of the soaker hose beds. This was planted almost exactly the same as that one, but for some reason this one's not doing as well. I wonder if it's because all these scallions are right here. They're big plants. They're probably sapping nutrients. But we got the You got the bolting radishes. There's carrots down here. You can see the little beets that are trying. They're trying, but they're just not doing it. That's some sort of flower that I planted, not sure what it is. There's some lettuce that I just tossed out here and they came up. There's another one over there. And, ooh, there's a bunch of arugula that hasn't bolted yet. I'm surprised. We'll have to take that in and eat it. You can see there's just random lettuce. There's some red lettuce over there. There's some over there. They're just all over the place. But those are all beets. You can see the carrots in the corner. And that's this bed. This next bed is garlic. I've already pulled some out. You can see how they're like falling over. Once they start falling over, like this one right here, and this one in the middle right there, once they start falling over, I pull them out, and I've got some good garlic out of it so far. Not huge, but I call it a win since this is my first year. We've got some, that's a tomato plant. There's another tomato plant in there. I don't know if I'm seeing it on screen. This is why I like to do my videos before the sun hits the garden, because it is so hard to see with all the contrast. Those are marigolds over there. And then in this bed behind me, right here, this is another one of my son's beds. He's got a bunch of arugula in there and some lettuce and odds and ends of stuff. These big old scallions. Look how big these bulbs are. Isn't that crazy? Wow, look at that. That's really neat. I always enjoy when the scallion flowers come out, because they're some of the first flowers that appear in my garden, and they attract lots of pollinators, which is great. We got some cosmos down here. 2 of them. And there's some tiny, where is it? Right there. Tiny tomatoes. And then on our last bed, it's right here. We've got a row of lettuce, which looks fabulous. I've harvested from this row as well. And you've got these big, these are onions actually, bulbing onions. Some radishes. I think that's arugula over there in the corner. Tiny carrots that are just now coming up. You guys are late, buds. It's gonna be too hot for you. You've got garlic over there. Of course, he also has scallions. You can see their flowers. And he planted a lot of odds and ends of stuff too. I think there's a row of kale right there. A row of yellow beets. A row of lettuce. Another bulbing onion. You can see it coming out of the soil right there. Then we have some beans. He planted some beans. Excuse me. And they're coming up. There's a couple more right there. Your little radishes. This is my youngest boy, and he just went. He had fun. He had fun just planting stuff. Lettuce, I believe. There's another onion and a cosmos flower. Radishes over there. And if you can see right there, that's a pepper. That's one of the ones I transplanted. So it's still here. So that is the main garden. Over here is my pepper plants. They're doing good. They're still alive. Waiting for them to get a few more sets of leaves before I put them in the garden. And then, oh, I planted some pumpkins. This one is just coming up right here. My phone, what in the world? There, it's starting. Can you see it right there coming up? Also, we got some onions and cosmos over here too. But here's an actual pepper plant, not pepper, pumpkin. So there's one pumpkin. Some mushrooms, looks like. And we got another one over here. The brick is just so we know where it is and we won't, you know, mow over it. This has been helpful. And another pepper. Why do I keep saying pepper? Pumpkin. And then this is a sunflower. And that's all on this side of the house. On the other side by the fence over here, got a little bird bath. I'm walking over here. I'm like going out of my way to keep my shadow out of it. It's so funny. Next to the fence, these are all flowers. You can see them. There's some nasturtium, sunflower, that might be bachelor button, sunflower, cosmos, sunflower, nasturtium. And these were the ones that I planted last. Nasturtium, sunflower. These are some bigger sunflowers. And then as you go down, they get bigger because these are the ones I planted first. You can see them getting bigger, which I'm really excited about. Tall sunflowers, I love them. And I just weeded recently, so all of these are different types of flowers. These are bachelor buttons. I don't know what that is. I need to ask. I have a group that I'm in on Facebook, and they're really good about letting me know what all these flowers' names are, because I'm relatively new to gardening. Look at all these guys, look at all these. These beautiful white flowers right there. This big bush with the red flowers. And then this tall one. This tall one. And then down here are a bunch of those sunflower bushes, but there's also tall sunflowers, and we'll see if they actually come up. And there's just a whole row of them, so I'm really excited for all of these to bloom later in the summer. And then down here are echinaceas. They haven't bloomed yet, but they've got really full leaves. You can see there's a bunch of sunflowers I need to prune away. But you can see here, they're about to flower, which is really exciting. And they're just all the way down next to the driveway. You can see these have already flowered, but I don't know what they're called. I gotta brush up on all my flower names. But that's it, that's my garden. Thanks for joining me to see what's been growing, and I'll talk to you in our next video. Happy gardening!